injustice and discrimination, seeking forgiveness and committing to the rectification of past policies and misdeeds. Whereas between 1849 and 1853, about 24,000 young Chinese men immigrated to California. And by 1870, there were an estimated 63,000 Chinese Americans in the United States, 77% of whom resided in California. Whereas Chinese immigrants were the primary workforce in developing Santa Clara County, as the fruit bowl of America, and San Jose was home to 5 Chinatowns, including the first Market Street Chinatown from 1866 to 1870, the Vine Street Chinatown until 1872, Second Market Street Chinatown, the one that was located here from 1872 to 1887, the Woolen Mills Chinatown, 1887 to 1902, and Heinleinville, lasting from 1887 to 1931. And whereas San Jose was the center of agriculture and Chinese immigrants were critical to the economy, industry, and progress of Santa Clara County, including in the manufacturing and heavy construction, notably as workers on the San Jose Railroad in the Santa Cruz Monterey line in the 1870s. And whereas Chinese immigrants were met with virulent racism and xenophobia, and the violence of anti-Chinese forces in San Jose from early on denied equal protection before the law. And whereas in 1869, the First Methodist Episcopal Church on 2nd and Santa Clara Streets, which taught Sunday school to Chinese immigrants, was burned to the ground. And the minister, Thomas Dunn, received death threats. And whereas after passage of the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882, which denied naturalization to U.S. citizenship and restricted Chinese immigration, anti-Chinese acts became institutionalized and empowered by federal, state, and local acts. And anti-Chinese conventions were held in San Jose, including the first state convention of the Anti-Chinese League in 1886. And whereas the policies, resolutions, and other actions of the City of San Jose and City Council directly contributed to the xenophobic discrimination and racial violence faced by Chinese immigrants, and whereas the City Council condemned all Chinese laundries on the basis they operated in wooden buildings after denying 14 Chinese laundry operators who filed a petition on January 14, 1886, requesting to continue their laundry businesses. And Mayor G.T. Settle broke the tie vote, and the motion before San Jose City Council to condemn the Chinese laundries was carried. And whereas the city made plans to remove San Jose's Market Street Chinatown for the building of the new City Hall downtown. And on March 25th, 1887, an order declaring the Chinatown at Market and San Fernando Streets a public nuisance was unanimously approved by Mayor C.W. Brayfogle and the entire City Council. And whereas the Market Street Chinatown succumbed to arson on May 4th, 1887, before official action could be taken, leading to the destruction of homes and businesses and the displacement of 1,400 members of the San Jose Chinese community. Whereas on June 2nd, 1887, after burning of the Market Street Chinatown, when John Heinlein requested permits for building a new Chinatown on his property, his request was declared out of order by the mayor. And whereas on June 8th, 1887, at a mass rally of citizens gathered on the corner of 5th and Jackson Street to protest the building of a new Chinatown, a resolution drafted by Mayor Brayfogle and the entire City Council was read to a crowd, stating that a Chinatown is a, quote, public nuisance, injurious,